funny when you see a man without arms and legs up on stage with a smile. You sort of subconsciously compare your suffering to my suffering, and in your own mind, your conclusion is that, well, you'll never complain again in your life because you can't imagine how it would be without limbs. However, I believe it's worse actually being in a broken home than having no arms, no legs. And I used to say that I believe that the biggest disability of all is fear. I want to maybe change it up a little bit. I think the biggest disability that we have as human beings is unbelief. Everything starts with a vision, and a man without vision dies. I just hate the idea of potential being wasted in this world. There are times in life where things happen and don't make sense, and I was just sitting on a plane seat next to this guy who was going to visit his mum, and his stepfather just died on Friday. They're burying him tomorrow or the day after, and I was talking with him a little bit, and there are just some things that we won't understand in this life. There are some times where you're going to wish that you could rewind and do things all over again. There are times where you just wish you could forget memories, and you try to drown those memories in alcohol or different pleasures, and maybe get distracted by the goals and ambitions of your life and try to put the past behind and move forward. We're all human beings. Please don't get me wrong. I don't wake up every morning with a smile on my face. I have ups and downs. You see my foot? Ups and downs, ups and downs. The first thing I want you to take away from today is this: you will have good days and you'll have bad days, but you will always learn something more or something new, and you will learn more overall on bad days than good days. You will learn more about yourself, you'll learn more about relationships, you'll learn about life and principles, and it'll build your character. I stand before you without arms and legs, but a very strong man because of the bad days in my life. You know how it is. If you didn't go what you've gone through, you wouldn't be who you are today. And I'm not belittling your pain, and don't worry, I've seen pain in my life, and I've seen not only in my life, but people's lives, and people say, well, at least I have no arms, no legs, and then what am I supposed to say? Well, at least I'm not an African orphan who's dying at 4 years old, and I met that person. You may have arms and legs, but unless you know three things. Number one, who are you and what your value is? Number two, what is your purpose here in life? And number three, what is your destiny when you're done here? If you don't know the answers of any of those three questions, you're more disabled than I. I love old people. I just want to make that the foundation. Love, 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 love. So, my parents were Christian, and I hated God. Hate's a strong word. I hated Him. So why did He give me less? What did I do to deserve that? These kids who pick on me at school, they deserve not to have no arms, no legs. Not me. So I read about this God. This God of love. Yeah, right. God has a plan. Yeah, right. God is not partial. No. So, it took me a journey. I asked Him why. Why was I born this way? And it was 7 years later, from age 8, telling my mum that I wanted to commit suicide. I was 15 years old actually, 7 years later, that I read a story in this book, the Bible. And there was a man who was born blind, and no one knew why he was born that way. And I'm like, bing, wow. Pretty similar to something I know of. Why? Well, he said so that the display of God and His power can be seen and displayed. And I didn't even read on. I didn't even read on at 15. I heard about miracles, and I didn't know where my miracle was. I'm not against miracles. I've actually seen blind people seeing, deaf people hearing, lame people walking. What happened was at 15, I said, you know what? If you had a plan for the blind man, then you got a plan for me. Whether that means you give me arms and legs or not, I trust you. Because You saved me from something else, much worse than having no arms, no legs, and that's the belief that Jesus did die for my sins, then I don't have to die for mine. I will plead guilty of having other idols before me, misusing the Lord's name in vain, not keeping the Sabbath day holy, not honoring my parents, killing people. I'm a murderer by God's standard because I hate people. That's the Bible, what it says. So I've hated people. So I'm going to plead guilty to any one of those. So knowing now that I have been forgiven and I'm a work in progress, I'm not perfect, I'm a work in progress, but forgiven and have eternity. If it's only for the one soul, I'm thankful.
I want to talk about authenticity today, about being your authentic self, your real self, being transparent, expressing the real you, and how important that is to you. And I'd like to start with a quote from Oprah Winfrey, who said, "I had no idea being your authentic self could make you as rich as I've become. If I had, I'd have done it a lot earlier." I love that. Now, there are major benefits to being your authentic self and huge costs from not being your authentic self. I want you to think about this. Do you ever feel as if you're wearing a mask? Perhaps you think you have to act a certain way around your boss or say certain things to your colleagues so that you'll be accepted. Instead of being yourself, you're playing a role to fit in or to impress others. Now, most of us have gone through times like this. Instead of behaving in a genuine way, we tell people what we think they want to hear, and we act in ways that go against our true nature. In short, we're living inauthentically. Now, living and working this way is tiring, it's dispiriting, and it's confining. And it can also hold you back from reaching your full potential. You can hide behind all the so-called symbols of success, such as a big home, expensive cars, big screen TVs, and exotic vacations. But ultimately, you'll never fully get away with not being your authentic self, with being a phony. There are huge costs. Most people are not being their true authentic self. Instead, they're either trying desperately to be what other people, such as their parents, spouses, friends, peer group, bosses, and colleagues, want and expect them to be. And they're usually genuinely not aware of their true values, their honest preferences, their real feelings, and their deepest desires. And the costs of being unaware, of wearing a mask and hiding your true self, and of being a people pleaser are many, including anxiety, stress, unhappiness, physical and emotional exhaustion, and physical pain and illness, even up to the point of manifesting life-threatening illnesses like cancer, which can actually kill you. Now, other costs include a lack of true intimacy, a lack of trust, low self-esteem, and lower non-existent self-confidence, which can cost you success in your career and the experience of real joy in your personal life. So the question is, how do you move from inauthenticity to living a more authentic life? Well, the first step is to increase your self-awareness, to become crystal clear about who you really are, what your values are, what your purpose is, what are your strengths, your gifts, and your talents, what you want and what you don't want to do, be, and have in life, who and what truly makes you happy, and who and what truly makes you unhappy, your honest preferences, your desires, and becoming aware of what you're really feeling. Now, take the time to acknowledge what activities and what kinds of work bring you the greatest joy. Answer the question, are you an introvert or an extrovert? What do you truly want to spend time with doing, and who do you want to spend time with doing whatever it is you want to do? What kind of music do you love? What kind of music don't you like? What causes do you want to stand up for, and which causes don't you want to care about? To speak and behave in alignment with your values, your purpose, your dreams, and your goals. It means following your intuitive inner guidance and having the courage to feel and express your true feelings. Now, this means giving up your power to decide to other people. This means making your needs just as important as their needs. It means having boundaries and learning to say no, not doing things for other people's approval, not going along to get along. It means speaking up when you feel the urge to, asking for what you want, not settling for less than you want and you feel you deserve. It means publicly expressing your true feelings when you're sad, scared, angry, exhausted, or even when you're enthusiastically really happy.